G'day YouTube and welcome to another video from Alex Does DIY. My name's Alex. We're outside on a beautiful spring day today and we've got a repair job to do on the clothes dryer here. So the dryer I've got, it's a Fisher & Paykel dryer and it's been a great dryer for about 10 years. I've certainly got no complaints, but over the last 12 months it has developed a problem which apparently is quite common with dryers. So basically what's been happening is the motor fails to turn the clothes inside, particularly on a really heavy load. We've either got to get the load towards the back of the drum or lighten the load to get it to spin, and often what happens during the cycle, it will stop and fail to start again. Now it's not something I've repaired before, but I did do a bit of research, not unlike yourself if you're watching this video, and found that it's quite a simple thing to fix and certainly a common problem, so I thought I'd do a video on it. The cause of the problem is that there's a capacitor inside, which is basically a device which will maintain a level current to the motor. That starts to fail, and so the motor then doesn't have enough power to kick over, and it's simple to replace. So we were planning on going out and spending a couple $100 on a new dryer, where in fact it was only going to cost me about 20 bucks to get it fixed. So the actual part itself, I will show you. So the actual part itself, the capacitor, looks like this. You can see, get a good shot of that. So it's just a $20 part off eBay. So obviously if I can fix it for 20 bucks, it's a lot better than paying a few $100s for a new one. And it should get it working like new. The other thing you're going to need, pretty basic, you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver to get into the machine. The other thing you'll need to make up is this here, and that's basically just a wire with two female terminals on the end. Now the reason why you want to do this, and this is, I suppose, is the serious part at the beginning, we need to get out of the way. We are dealing with electricity, and obviously anything electrical, before you pull it apart, you're going to unplug it from the power point, as obviously I've done here. But the way these capacitors work is they actually store electricity, so even after you've unplugged it from the power point, this is still going to contain an amount of electricity and capable of giving you an electric shock. So before we pull the old one out, we actually have to discharge that, and so that's where this comes in. So we'll be able to attach this to the existing one, and that will discharge it, and then we can remove it and throw it away. Obviously it's not recommended that unless you're an electrician that you do this type of work. Certainly if you're not confident around electrical equipment, I wouldn't recommend it. Certainly don't go getting yourselves electrocuted on my part. Alright, so I'll bring you in a bit closer and we'll get this job started. As I said, I've never actually done this before, so we'll be working this out together as we go. I don't think it's going to be too difficult. To start with, what I'm going to do is just start undoing the ridiculous amount of screws on the back plate here, and we'll get that off. There we go, so that's the back off, as you can see, and while we've got it open like this, it's a good idea to give it a clean out. So don't mind the dust. Alright, so it looks like I can see the original capacitor in there. I'll bring you in, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Okay, so I don't know if you can quite catch it in there, but I'm quite sure you'll find that the capacitor sits just inside here, which is a bit awkward to get to from the back. So I'm thinking, let's see, do we take the bottom off or do we take the side off? I'm thinking we'll take the bottom off. So let's attack that. Now I'll just take you around the side here just to show you something in case you come up against the same issue. To get the bottom off, what I'm going to have to do, you see there, this is our pulley system, and the belt that goes around the drum, so I'm actually going to have to unhook that off the motor spindle there. Just be careful with that, just leave it sitting on the drum, that'll free this up, because the base here is actually bolted to this upright, or screwed to this upright, and this is fixed. I don't want to have to undo these tabs to get that off, so they can stay there. So I'll let you watch from that aside. There we go. So that now gives us a good shot of our capacitor, which sits just there. That one there is slightly different to the one that we've bought, but I'm advised they are the same. So, first job. Right, so I've just got a pair of well insulated pliers. We're going to pull contacts off of that. That's one. And that's two. There we go. So the next thing we need to do is to put our wire on. Well, easy to get to, is it? There we go. There we go. So that will short out, theoretically, short out and discharge the capacitor. So on this one it's now just a matter of undoing this clip at the back here, and that should come right out. There we go. One capacitor removed. You might want to double check at this point, if you have gone and bought a capacitor ahead of time, that they are the same. I don't know if you can pick that up in the sun, but even though they look different, the ratings on those are actually the same. I've got 7.5 UF or 7 UF, so slightly different, plus or minus 5%, plus or minus 5%. AC 400V, 450V, C. So I'm calling that good enough. Put that through the hole. Right, so that's the new capacitor in there, nice and firm. Now we attach the little mic cable. Now this capacitor had, just in case you come across this issue, maybe should have shown you close up before I put this in. The old capacitor here has just 2 terminals, whereas that new capacitor has 4. But if you actually look at the 4 terminals, they're in pairs, and those 2 pairs actually join together. So technically it is only 2 terminals. So I've got a blue and a white wire. Don't attach those to 2 that are already touching each other. Put them onto opposite ends. And I really probably don't think it matters which goes on which. It's the blue one on. Now the white one. Alright, and we're in. So now it's just a matter of putting it all back together. Right, so once we've got all those screws in on the base, then we can come back in and just double check that we've tightened up these 4 in the middle that hold those brackets for the motor and the pulleys. Right, so the next thing we'll have to do is get the rubber back around that pulley. It shouldn't be too hard. So that went under the 2 big ones. And over that motor spindle. So just make sure that's spinning freely. Just make sure it's also lined up, alright. Just turn that way in. Now we can put our back plate back on. Alright, so there we go, job's done, and miraculously no screws left over, which is a bonus. So the next thing to do is to plug her in and we'll see what happens. Alright, there we go. Success. She's working, job's a good one. Cost us $20 and we did it ourselves. Thanks for watching.